Toolbox Navigation video. We're going to be showing you in this video how to navigate and utilize your toolbox to make it as efficient and easy as possible to access the different tools and templates that we have available for you. Now, this home page that you're looking at here is the place that you'll come when you're logged in, and that's going to have a number of different tools for you. First of all, on the left-hand side, you'll notice the blog section. This is where we'll have any updates or pertinent information that you may want to know, so keep your eyes peeled on that. On the right-hand side, you'll find, as on many other pages, you'll find this same box called the Toolbox Navigation. This allows you to essentially jump to any section of the toolbox with a click of a mouse, okay, making navigation very easy. Now, if we look up at the top, you'll find the primary navigation section. Up here, what we have done is we have essentially grouped all of the different elements of the toolbox that are similar to each other in the same section. You'll notice that all the templates for emails, text messages, and notes are in the same section. All the tools, whether it be flowcharts or spreadsheets, are all in the same section. And then we have the processes for lead applicants and members broken out separately. Now, we're going to explain the applicant and member process pages in just a minute, but let's go ahead and take a look at what the average page within the toolbox is going to look like and the different elements that you're going to need to know about. So we'll take a look at, for example, the email applicants page. Now, this is going to be the page specific for all email templates that are pertaining to applications, new applicants coming into your system. Now, what you'll notice, and this is consistent throughout the entire toolbox, is at the top of every page you'll find a purpose and how it works section. What this does is basically explains the basic purpose of the template or tool that you're using, and just a basic explanation of how it works. Okay? Now, below that, you'll notice the two buttons for WMI or AMDB. Okay? Now, these are the same templates. The only difference is that they are tailored for either the David Bach product or the WMI product line. So, if you're promoting WMI as your primary product and you're looking for applicant emails, then you would click on the button for WMI. This is going to take you to all of the applicant email templates for the WMI product line. Okay? Now, this is consistent throughout the entire toolbox. You'll see these two buttons, and wherever you see that, just know that it's the same template or tool. It's just designated for WMI or David Bach. Now, as we look down below, and again, this is all going to be consistent on every tool or template page that you see, you'll see a quick tips and toolbox cross section. Okay? Now, the quick tips is pretty self-explanatory. It's just any information that we feel you should know as you start to use these tools that can help making the tools easier to use. Now, the toolbox cross section is important, and what you can do, and this is again throughout the entire toolbox, everywhere that you see an image, you can click on it to expand it, and that'll make it a little bit easier to see. Now, what we've done is place these flowcharts at strategic areas in the toolbox so that you can see exactly what's going on, sort of a cross section of the process that you're taking your applicants and members through. So because we're on an applicant page for emails in this case, we are seeing the applicant process flowchart. And that basically explains for day one what you're going to be sending to them, so in this case an email and a text, along with a call and any tools that are to be used along with the day one process. Okay? So you want to review these different flowcharts, and you can do that on the page that you're on now, which is using the toolbox. Okay? And you will find all three of these flowcharts on the Using the Toolbox tab, A, B, and C being for different explanations of how the toolbox works. If we look at A is a basic overview of the process from applicant all the way to member, from day one all the way to the very end of working with your member. That'll be an overview that you will definitely want to review, and that's going to help you understand exactly how this process works with the Closer's Toolbox. Now, we've looked at the applicant process briefly here, and again, as I mentioned before, it's going to show you what to do on day 1, day 3, and day 5, and any tools that need to go along with that. What you'll see on on C flowchart is a little bit more in depth, and that's for the member process, which is a longer process to work with. Again, the same design though that you'll notice from the applicant process, and that is what you're doing on day 1, what you're sending to them, and any tools that are used along with the process. Okay? So that is the basic overview of how the toolbox works. The final area that we want to take a look at is to understand the process pages. Okay? Now these process pages incorporate all the elements of the toolbox into one page. What that means is let's say, for example, you have an applicant. On day one, you're going to need to do some things with this new applicant that you've received. So you would come to the applicant process and you would scroll to the day one area. This is going to tell you what emails, what texts, and what scripts for your phone call that you'll need to be using. Okay, and again, you can click that script to make it larger to read as you're working with your prospect. Okay? Now let's say you have an applicant who is on their final process day, which is day 5. You would scroll down to day 5 to ensure that you're following the steps systematically to take care of that applicant on day 5. Okay, so that process is the same for the member area, which will be designed just the same way, broken down into days, and you'll be able to scroll to the day that you need to find the information that you need to use. The final section of the toolbox that you'll need to know about is the support area. Now, if for any reason you have questions that are not answered through the individual page that the template or tool is on, and you're not able to find the answer through reviewing the flowcharts or the FAQ section of the website, then you're going to want to reach out to us and our support team. To do that, you simply click on the support area. That'll take you to a page where you'll have our email address, which is support@closerstoolbox.com. Send us an email there with the details of your question, and we will get back to you usually within 24 hours to get your questions squared away.